Good afternoon, children. Today we will start with the human immune system, the new topic. Human immune system. Children, since lower classes you have been studying that. If you are in a class, if one child of the class is suffering from cold and fever, if the same child sneezes, right, the one child who is sitting beside gets infected or he also suffers from cold and fever. But the other child who is sitting beside on the other side of the same child doesn't get infected by cold and fever. It's because the immune system of the other child is very good or it is very high. Immunity, you can say the immunity or immune system of the other child is very good, and as a result the other child does not get infected by cold and fever, right? So we are starting with the immune system today. Now the function of the immune system is it recognizes the foreign molecules which are called the antigens. That means it helps in recognizing. After recognizing, it responds to them, and after that it remembers the foreign antigen. This is very similar. See, अगर आपके घर में कोई मेहमान आते हैं, मम्मी और पापा के बहुत childhood friends, close friends, but they are the childhood friends to whom you have never seen earlier, right? And if you open the door, सबसे पहले आप देखोगे उन्हें. So what you will do? You will try to recognize. वो आपको आइडेंटिफाई करवाएंगे, वो बोलेंगे कि मैं आपके पापा का ये फ्रेंड, राइट? सो यू विल रिकॉग्नाइज देम फर्स्ट. आफ्टर रिकॉग्निशन व्हाट यू विल डू? यू विल रिस्पॉन्ड, है ना? आप रिस्पॉन्ड करोगे कि ओके अंकल आइए, अंदर आइए. यू विल रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट, एंड आफ्टर दैट यू विल रिमेंबर देम कि हाँ फ्यूचर में कभी आएंगे ये, तो आपको पता होगा कि ये आपके पापा के फ्रेंड है. सो सिमिलरली immune system gives immunity to the body. How? By recognizing, this is the function. Okay, then responding to them and remembering the foreign particles or foreign antigens. Foreign particles means the particles which body does not possess. It is from outside the body, so it is called foreign antigen or foreign particle. जैसे बाहर से कोई आता है तो उन्हें हम कहेंगे फॉरेनर्स, ठीक है? हमारे इंडिया के नहीं है, बाहर के हैं, सो दे आर कॉल्ड फॉरेनर्स. सो सिमिलरली द पार्टिकल्स और द substances that are not present in our body but they enter our body from outside are the foreign particles, or they are called the antigens. And they also play very crucial role in the allergic reactions. Allergic reactions are the reactions in which the immune system functions abnormally. Autoimmune diseases, auto means self, ठीक है? तो हमारा खुद का immune system खुद के cells को destroy करेगा. That is called autoimmune disease. One of the example of autoimmune disease is the rheumatoid arthritis, in which there is inflammatory disorder which affects the joints of our body, that is joints of our legs and hands. Okay, lupus, this is another autoimmune disease in which the immune system will destroy the own tissues only. Okay, and organ transplantation. Organ transplantation means the organ of one person is given to the body of another person, which is called recipient. ओके, तो जो डोनर है उनकी बॉडी में से ऑर्गन निकाल के दूसरे बॉडी में ऑर्गन डाला जाता है, एंड दिस इज डन इफ द ऑर्गन ऑफ अनदर पर्सन इज नॉट फंक्शनिंग प्रॉपर्ली, और इट इज डैमेज, और इट इज मिसिंग. ओके, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांटेशन. सो इन ऑल दिस थ्री the immune system plays a very crucial role or a very important role. And the parts of the immune system or immune system consist of lymphoid organs, then tissues, cells and the antibodies. Let us start with the lymphoid organs. Lymphoid organs are the organs where the origin, maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. Okay. Now, proliferation means multiplication, multiplying or increasing in number rapidly. That is called proliferation. So, in the lymphoid organs, there is origin. That means formation of the lymphocytes takes place. After formation, the lymphocytes undergoes maturation. Mature होने के बाद उनका number increase होता है. Okay, and lymphoid organs are of two types. The first lymphoid organ is the primary lymphoid organ, and the second is the secondary lymphoid organ. We will start with the primary lymphoid organs first. Primary lymphoid organs are the organs where the lymphocytes are matured and differentiated. Okay, they mature and they differentiate to antigen sensitive lymphocytes. Means the inactive lymphocytes will get activated here in the primary lymphocytes, and they will get differentiated into antigen sensitive lymphocyte. Means they are active now or mature now. Okay, and further there are two different types of lymphoid organs. Then number one is bone marrow and number two is the thymus. You can see this is bone marrow, whereas this is the thymus, which is located in the chest region of the human. Now, talking about the bone marrow. Bone marrow is the part, or you can say the site of the formation of all blood cells. All the blood cells, including the B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, are produced in the bone marrow. Okay, and the second part or the second primary lymphoid organ is the thymus, which is a bilobed organ. Okay, thymus is the bilobe, do lobe wala. You can see here in this diagram, two lobes are there. This is first lobe and this is the second lobe. Okay, so it is a bilobed structure or bilobed organ which is seen near the heart and beneath the breastbone. Breastbone के नीचे और हार्ट के पास ये ऑर्गन होता है, ये बाइलोब्ड ऑर्गन जिसको हम कहते हैं थाइमस. ओके, एंड थाइमस इज लार्ज एट द टाइम ऑफ बर्थ एंड विथ द एज slowly and gradually it decreases in size and it becomes very small at attending the puberty. Okay, by attending the puberty it becomes very small in size, right? And immature T lymphocytes from the bone marrow, they migrate to the thymus, and in the thymus there is maturation of the T lymphocytes. Then secondary lymphoid organs. Okay, secondary lymphoid organs are the organs where the mature lymphocytes migrate from the primary lymphoid organs, and here only there is interaction of the antigen sensitive lymphocytes with the antigens. So you can say the mature lymphocytes, they interact with the antigens here in the secondary lymphoid organs, and even there is proliferation of the lymphocytes and they become the effector cells. Okay, then different examples of the secondary lymphoid organs are, number one is the spleen, second is the lymph node, then tonsils, Peyer's patches, mucosal associated lymphoid tissue, which is abbreviated as MALT, M-A-L-T, appendix. So these are various examples of the secondary lymphoid organs. We will study about spleen first. Now spleen is a large bean-shaped structure. Bean पता है ना, राजमा. तो राजमा जैसा structure होता है. You can see in this picture, it is bean shaped. Okay, and so it is a bean shaped organ and it contains the lymphocytes and the phagocytes. Okay, even it contains the erythrocytes. Now The phagocytes are the cells that protect the body by ingesting the harmful foreign particles, bacteria and dead or dying cells, right? Whereas erythrocytes are the RBCs which are biconcave and they do not have the nucleus, right? So the spleen contains the lymphocytes and phagocytes, and even the erythrocytes are also present. So they are called reservoirs of erythrocytes in the fetus. ठीक है, क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पर बहुत सारे एरिथ्रोसाइट्स होते हैं. एरिथ्रोसाइट्स आर प्रेजेंट इन वेरी लार्ज अमाउंट. Okay, so they are called the spleen is called the reservoir of erythrocytes in the fetus, and their function is it filters the blood by trapping the blood-borne microorganisms from the blood, and it also helps in removing the worn out RBCs. Okay, those RBCs which have completed its life. Okay, life cycle of RBCs is 120 days. ठीक है, तो 120 days का जो life cycle जिसने complete कर दिया है, जो RBCs ने 120 days का life cycle complete कर दिया है, those RBCs which have got exhausted or tired, okay, that are removed with the help of the spleen, right? So that is all about the spleen. So the secondary lymphoid organ is the lymph node. Lymph nodes are the solid structures which are present at different points along the lymphatic system. And function of the lymph nodes is to trap the microorganisms or other antigens or the foreign particles that enter in the lymph or the body fluid. Okay, body fluid is the fluid which is collected in between the cells, in the intercellular spaces of the cells, right? So that microorganisms which are present in the body fluid or tissue fluid or in the lymph will be trapped by the lymph nodes. Okay, then the trapped antigens will activate the lymphocytes and will cause the immune response, right? So after the microorganisms are trapped by the lymph nodes, there will be activation of the lymphocytes, and in turn the lymphocytes will provide the immune response by producing the antibodies. Now the last secondary lymphoid organ is the MALT, okay, that is mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. It is located within the lining of the major tracts of the body, that is the respiratory tract or the digestive or urinogenital tract, right? And it constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue. MALT constitutes about the 50% of the lymphoid tissue. So children, we have started with the immune system, where immune system is the part of the body which helps in fighting against the disease causing microorganisms, okay, and its function is to recognize response, and after responding they keep it in the memory, right? So in future, if there is attack of the same microorganism or the same pathogen, the immune system will identify the pathogen and will provide the fighting capacity to the pathogens, right? And then after that we have studied about the different lymphoid organs. Okay, lymphoid organs are of two types, the primary lymphoid organs and the secondary lymphoid organ. Primary lymphoid organs are the organs where there will be maturation, there is production and maturation of the antigen sensitive lymphocytes, okay, and then they are of two types, that is bone marrow and the thymus. In the bone marrow there is the formation of all types of blood cells including the B lymphocytes and the T lymphocytes, whereas the Thymus is a bilobed structure where there is interaction between the, there is maturation of the T lymphocytes. Okay, and thymus is very large in size at the time of birth, and slowly and gradually with age it decreases and it becomes very small at the puberty age. Right, and then we have studied about the secondary lymphoid organs. The secondary lymphoid organs are the organs to which the mature lymphocytes migrate from the primary lymphoid organs. They interact with the antigens and proliferate, means they increase in number and they become the effector cells. And various secondary lymphoid organs are spleen, lymph nodes, malt, tonsils, then Peyer's patches, appendix. Okay, we have studied about spleen. It is a large bean-shaped organ which contains the lymphocytes, phagocytes and the erythrocytes. It is called the reservoir of erythrocytes in the infants. Okay, and phagocytes are the cells that protects the body by ingesting the harmful particles, bacteria and dead or dying cells. Whereas erythrocytes are the RBCs which are biconcave and they do not have the nucleus, and the function is it helps in filtering the blood, because of which the microorganisms that are present in the blood will be trapped, and it will also help in removing the worn out RBCs. Okay, then another function, another type of secondary lymphoid organ is the lymph node, which is the solid structure that is present at different points near the lymphatic system, along with the lymphatic system, and it traps the microorganisms and other foreign particles or the antigens that enters the lymph and the tissue fluid. Okay, and the trapped antigens will activate the lymphocytes, which in turn will give the immune response, will provide the immune response. And lastly, we have learned about mucosal associated lymphoid tissue, which are present within the lining of the major tracts like the respiratory, digestive, urinogenital tract, and it constitutes about the 50% of the lymphoid tissue in our body. So that is all about today's class. In our next video, we will be learning about immunity. I hope you